The state of Canadian hockey is in a weird place. On one hand, Canada is producing some of the greatest prospects in the game.
Bring him up for Regina, 1-on-2, step by the defenseman to the net, the Deacon, he scores! Oh my!
McDavid stops up, what a move, shoots, score!
Breakout through center, on the near wall, quick shot, he scores!
But on the other hand, over the last couple decades, Canada has gone from dominating on the world stage to being embarrassed on home ice.
Moves it and shoots, scores!
So it begs the question, what in the hell is going on? How did Canada go from sweeping the entire tournament, the last time it was held in Ottawa, where I kid you not, they had a 29 goal differential, meaning that they scored 29 more goals than they let in, to this year, where they're a +3. Team Canada went from winning 5 straight gold medals to being shut down by Latvia and embarrassed by the Czechs. And well, I would discover something shocking. The worst Team Canada roster in tournament history. This is the line I've been hearing this entire tournament. But is it true? On this play, up 1-0 in the third period, Team Latvia has a huge power play opportunity. In what world does it make sense for there to be 3 Canadian defenders within stick length beside each other? Even worse, at the blue line? Yes, I get it's a scramble, but Latvia is on the man advantage. One misstep, and there is a guaranteed high scoring chance going back the other way. Ideally, you send out the right side coverage to attack the puck during a scramble, the defenseman stays within distance to shut down a play going down the boards, and the left side coverage takes care of center ice. But no, Latvia gains possession, and because the left side coverage is caught cheating towards the battle, Latvia now has the space to walk down the wing, and at this point, number 26 for Canada, also I'm going to avoid using any names here, but number 26 checks his shoulder, where he sees the Latvian player going into open ice, and instead of skating to stay on his man, he stops skating. He attempts to slash or hook him.
Works it, feeds it back, and they score!
Late into the third period, Latvia has another advantageous power play. Number 12 for Canada would learn this time from the prior power play to stay on his man. As you know, they got reamed out for this exact play, as you can also see the Canadian defender do several shoulder checks to ensure that he's not left wide open. Except, they were now so fixated on preventing the same play that they would leave the cross-ice seam pass wide open.
The line held by Vulan. Osmondus feeds it back across, Lipschitz tees it up, they score!
Keep in mind, nearly half of this entire Canadian roster are either previous first-round picks or first-round picks heading into the next draft. This team is loaded with talent from top to bottom. Team Latvia, bless their souls, and I'm truly happy for their hockey development. It's really cool to see them succeed, but they have 1 third-round pick and a 7th-round pick on their team. They have 4 players on their roster who are 16 years old, as this was truly David versus Goliath. But okay, maybe this game was just a rude awakening. Fast forward to their elimination game, where we would see all these mistakes magnified in the biggest game of this tournament. Shortly off the puck drop, number 6 on Canada has the time and space to make a play from their offensive zone. He attempts to move the puck up to the winger at center ice, but the Czech defenseman reads this play and is ready to shove him off the puck. But that's okay, you know? Regroup, get back into position, and get the puck out. But instead, he tries to push the puck up ice by taking the body, which is fine I guess, but be ready to get back? You know what, let me just do a quick tomahawk and just stop skating. I'm just gonna start watching the play from a distance, because at this point, the Czechs are pushing the puck up ice, and the Canadian defender is now like, oh shit, I should probably try to backcheck after turning over the puck. The 2 Canadian forwards are literally just flat-footed, watching the play. What in the hell is going on? Are they both trying to cherry pick within hugging distance? I just don't get it. Team Canada's left D-man is caught in no man's land. You know, in a position where he's not close enough to take the body on one of the 2 forwards driving to the net, but also not close enough to go stick on puck with the puck carrier. Number 6, who created the turnover, stops skating, and instead of taking the body, let's just do a little slash.
Moves in a backdoor pass, they score!
This play was a complete and utter embarrassment. Every single player on Team Canada either stopped skating or made the worst possible decision. We would then see the questionable 5-minute major, and I only say that because if a player ever instantly tries to find a ref, right? You know, they get hit, they fall down, and their first instinct is to look up without being in pain, you know, trying to make eye contact with the ref. It probably means that there was, you know, a dive here. Regardless though, Canada was very undisciplined in this tournament. On paper, they are a much better team, so this by no means should have been the end to this game, and it wasn't. However, with the Czechs still in the power play, my goodness, we would see unstructured hockey. And here's a tip to any youth hockey player watching this video. You should never, and I mean never, be in a position where 3 out of the 4 guys on the ice are in the corner together, again, within hugging distance, because after the Czechs collect the puck, because of their spacing, look how much room there is on the ice.
Yeko centers it, that's hammered wide by Stans. A rebound on the side of the goal, they score!
As this was the infamous own goal, now it was a fluke situation, but it all started from playing a PK with no structure. And to end the first period, Canada, instead of playing a gritty meat and potatoes game, tried to make a fancy play at the blue line. The puck gets instantly turned over, but instead of getting on their horses and trying to backcheck, they both watched the play going back, skating at half speed. McKenna cheats toward the high slot man, loses the guy back door,
Checks, Mashtalerski feeds it back in front, they score!
and within the dying moments of the game, another unnecessary penalty. Pause it right here. How is this team full of elite players constantly, and I mean constantly throughout this entire tournament, losing their man backdoor? Again, if you're a youth player, if you can look around and are able to touch 2 separate teammates, there's a 99% chance you're not in a good position.
Jurczyk feeds it back across, Yeko scores!
Watching this team was just disheartening. So many players trying to be an individual, trying to make those awesome hero plays to be on the highlight reels for decades. No structure, undisciplined. Even after this, the coach goes, you know what? No practice. We don't have chemistry. We don't have discipline. We have no structure. No practice. It just makes sense. This was hands down the worst display I have ever seen as a Team Canada fan. Worse yet, somehow this team would lack star power, as they would score 2 more goals in this entire tournament over Latvia and Kazakhstan. With that being said, it needs to be said that these players, well, they're just kids. If you're frustrated as a Canadian hockey fan, I truly get it. Be frustrated, this tournament was an embarrassment, but harassing a kid is going too far. But these problems started way before this tournament. In a prior video, I discussed the fact that every single team in this tournament, aside from Canada's roster, have all played with each other for a significant amount of time. And to me at least, this was the biggest issue on this roster. When you see these incredible defensive breakdowns, it's not because these guys are inherently bad at defense. No, it's because they had zero chemistry. For some perspective, 20. Count it. 20 of Team USA's 24-man roster all played on the National Development Program. Countries like Latvia, Germany, Czechs, Slovakia have all played with each other, every day for years. These teams have such high chemistry that they can develop systems to punch far above their weight class. So when you add a star caliber player like Sale or Dvorsky, you have a system to shut down the other team, even though they may be better, on top of having key players to take over games.
Lukin out ball and Rutherford, he sure scores!
And for the case of Team Canada, they 100% tried to use chemistry to make this roster. However, it was reported that they weighted this decision heavily on pre-tournament tryout games. So a small sample size that doesn't dictate on how they'll perform against the top teams. And what makes even less sense is that we had players like Michael Misa and Zane Perek who were infamously left off this team, even though they are arguably Canada's best offensive prospects. But not just that, Canada would take one of their line mates in Joey Willis, and all 3 of these players just won a Memorial Cup together. Would it not make sense, if you're not just going off best player available, to take the 3 guys who played together and just won a Memorial Cup? Because there is no reason to why Canada shouldn't be the top country in the world.